here about doing a couple of clam prints, and these are quite special clam prints. Unfortunately, one of our friends over the weekend lost her and her family lost their home and all of their possessions in a fire, and sadly their dog also perished as well. So the local community has come together fantastic and raised some money for them, and we donated some clothes and bits and pieces. But I thought I would also try to do my bit as well, so I put out a little note on social media, see whether anyone wanted to buy a couple of prints this week, and all proceeds going towards the cause. So I was able to drum up 2 print sales, and so all of that money is going to be transferred across to their to the benefit. So one of the prints that I'm doing right now is this one right here, which is the taken on Luskentyre in the Outer Hebrides, and the other one that is actually going is once again the very popular Birds Will Fly. So 2 prints, let them settle for a little bit, and then get them posted off to their new owners. And of course the most important thing is raising a little bit of money for the family who suffered such tragic loss. Well, good morning, Tuesday morning, and actually a little gap in the weather. Yesterday was a pretty gnarly day, as I think I showed you. Tomorrow's meant to be even gnarlier. We have a little gap today, so nice little early morning run, and then I gotta get those prints packaged up and sent off to their new homes. Quite cold this morning. Oh. Right, this run won't do itself. Let's get on the hoof. Might catch up on the way. One other thing. Now, I do notice these things, have done for quite some time, but how often, as we sort of head into January, February, March, do we get to kind of mid-March and we go, whoa, aren't the mornings stretching out? Aren't the nights stretching out? Well, newsflash, guys, that happens very gradually. And actually, it's incredible if you look at a sunrise-sunset chart, even for just a week, that in a week you can be gaining an extra 15 minutes of daylight. And it's also, I find it quite interesting how it isn't parallel. You don't earn the same in the evening as you do in the morning. It kind of does its little flip-flop. But given the fact that I think this week is about 15 minutes we gain, you know, what are you going to do with that time? Worthwhile just paying attention to what, you know, between today, the something of January, the 12th of January or something, and the 31st of January, how many more minutes of daylight that we're going to have. Now, obviously, we are in a significant case of lockdown, but if you were to say to yourself, well, you know what, I'm going to try, within my restrictions, to at least get outside, even if it's just to stand in the garden and have a coffee for those extra minutes, really suck them in, because it is a privilege. And no more so than now do we realise how much of a privilege being outside is. Make use of those little moments that are coming our way as we head through January. Boy, I love to stop running, don't I? By the way, this building here is up for rent as a restaurant stroke cafe. That'd be a nice spot, wouldn't it? Ooh. Run on. So this is actually the beach that when parkrun is allowed to happen. Hasn't happened in just under a year now, but this is actually the beach that parkrun happens on now. I think up until a couple of years ago or last year, this was the only beach, or this was the only parkrun in the world that was 100% on a beach. I think there's one more now in Australia or New Zealand or something. But yeah, on a morning like this morning, when there's light winds, low tide, hard sand, it is a beautiful parkrun to do. On a windy, high tide, crazy day, soft sand, it can be an absolute mother funster. I think I'll actually run a little bit on the beach actually. Let's do that. couple of prints ready to send off to clients. These are the two prints here, the Luskin Tower Light and the Birds Will Fly. Obviously the Birds Will Fly one is a 10 by 10 square, so I just need to do a little bit of chopping. Always very careful to make sure that I'm not mucking it up at the final minute. And then moving into some protective packaging. A little bit of noise in the background is my little worker bee doing the labels. I could have been a GP, mostly because of my handwriting, so Nicola actually writes the labels. So yeah, they're going off now to their new homes. We're going to double that walk to the post office by taking Boris the crazy foster dog out for a dander. And then I think it's going to be a bit of an office day for me. All right, now you're just taking the mickey with the noise in the background.
Sorry.
Right, see you in a bit. Well, good morning. Unlike yesterday, it's a pretty gnarly day out there, so it's certainly an office day. You can probably hear the printer rattling along in the background. Thankfully doing another print, another client print, and I just wanted to quickly talk about prints for a moment. It's been a tough time for the self-employed, not least the self-employed artists. You know, our ability to run workshops, you know, add to our portfolios, and even print sales are significantly down as people are watching every penny, understandably. I've got to also realise that I'm not alone in this. There are a lot of other artists out there who are in a very similar situation, and so from that perspective I would like to, something that I saw at the beginning of last year's lockdown, I would like to put on record that I am committed now to an artist pledge. That being, for every 5 print sales that I make, I commit to purchase a print or a book to the value of my most expensive print sold, which would be £35, from another artist. So if I make 5 print sales in the next 6 months, I'll purchase a print. Now, purchasing books and prints for us is a little bit challenging because we do like to live a pretty minimalist and semi-nomadic life, and so owning physical possessions is a bit of an issue. But this is something that I feel quite strongly about, and you know, when I do purchase the print or book from the other artist, I would encourage them, if they wanted to take part as well. So this looks like it has printed out. It's the Rustic Blues, another one of my From Rust series, as he almost falls over the printer. They have proven to be quite popular. So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Artist Pledge, and yeah, so I'll check this print over, and then it's back to the grindstone. So one of the things I love about photographing the same place, like your local town, is the sort of documentary sort of form of it, where you're sort of recording a place and how it's changing. And the little outflow here that you've probably seen, I've got a couple of nice images from there that I've been sort of shooting for a while. I've never kind of seen it looking like that before, obviously just the way the tides are going. But the other thing that's starting to happen, so these rocks are actually covered over for most of the year, and it's just during a few months during the winter where they get uncovered. Now, in normal circumstances, obviously it makes for some lovely foreground and what have you, but trying not to wander out with the tripod at the moment, just really coming out with the iPhone. So, but yeah, just the documenting a place over time, and you don't kind of realize the importance of that maybe until you look back 3 or 4 years later and you start to see some changes, albeit maybe some slow changes. So, and as you've guessed, that heavy rain I talked about this morning has passed through. I think we're due some more later, but just thought it was a good opportunity to get out and stretch the old legs. And yeah, the thing about this lovely little bit of area that gets uncovered during the winter time, it's actually fossilized trees. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to say millions of years old. I'll put up a little bit of a close-up of them, but what we're standing on right now on this sort of bit of sand, will actually get quite a bit uncovered, and there'll be quite a lot of sort of little gnarly trees, which I find quite interesting, and it doubles up as quite good foreground interest at times. So wonderful. So apologies for a little bit of noise in the background, I just had the heating on. So in the van, quite often if I want to kind of have just a couple of hours of just, focused work time, I will actually come down and sit in the van. Even though we're not able to travel in it, it's a nice little sort of quiet space where I stick the heating on, do a bit of writing, do a bit of editing, even record a vlog. So yeah, quite like coming down here. It does fill me full of kind of a pang of just, how much we took for granted back in the day. But anyway, let's not get too downtrodden. But yeah, just finished, most of the way through editing another vlog. But I think it's time to go up and prepare tea. I'm going to try something funky with sprouts. Yeah, still on this keto mumbo jumbo, but yeah, not a big sprouts fan. But let's see whether we can do something Indian themed with sprouts, eh? Oh, well, good morning, Friday morning. Lovely bit of freezing fog about. Again, one of those situations where I'd love to be able to travel, albeit only about 6-7 miles, to Little Forest, which I'm sure is looking rather nice, shrouded in mist right now, but doing the sensible thing. Anyway, I love this little area in here. Now I'll try not to fall in, because that will, where the waves just kind of sweep up. You've seen a couple of images me pointing out this direction before, out to the Skerries, but I reckon there's a little bit of an abstract image in there to be had, maybe a 16:9. Here comes a big one, look at that. Woo. So I reckon there's a 16:9 sort of black and white image in there to be had, so I might pop up at some point in the next couple of weeks and see whether we can grab something. But for now, you guessed it, back out for a run. Oh, it's actually quite nice conditions for a run, so enough jibber jabber, let's get on the hoof. Oh, you probably can't see that because of the bright highlights behind me, but you can probably make it out there. Absolutely beautiful light at the moment, just out on the daily doggo dander with Boris the foster dog, Crazy Bob as we like to call him. Gorgeous light, absolutely beautiful. Windy and cold though. Oh, the light is just absolutely beautiful. A little bit of shelter around this side of the headland, and some of these waves, now the light has kind of dissipated a little bit now, but some of these waves, a real kind of opal sort of turquoisey colour, would be lovely with a bit of a long lens, 70 to 200. Here comes that light again now actually, so just sort of catching maybe a quarter of a second, nothing too long, just keeping a little bit of energy and just sort of catching some of that lovely colour. Look at those dark clouds as well. Oh. Anyway, onward with the doggo walk. Well, good morning again, Sunday morning. Just wrapping up another week here. Colour looks absolutely beautiful. Let me just turn you around. Oh, still about 25 minutes over before sunrise. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this another little moments between. Probably going to be very samey each week, because of course that's all we're doing. Anyway, I'll throw up a couple of images from iPhone images from the week. Maybe a little bit of B-roll from this morning's run, and I guess we'll catch you again next week. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.